Alright folks, I want to welcome everybody to today's video. Today is Sunday. It's June 7th, 2020. About 5:45 in the evening. And I'm just chilling on this Sunday. Got a beautiful wife and little Forrest G here in the playpen. So if there's a little background noise, you just have to deal with it. He's watching his ABC songs on the big screen above me, but being that I'm making the video, he's got no audio. But he's been playing all day. He's a little tired, so he's just chilling out. I don't even know what today is on this lockdown. It's day 80 something. I forgot. 86?
What 86?
Are you sure?
What? I said. Never mind.
Okay. Last night we watched a great movie, and this is a continuation of the movie The Man from Earth. And the sequel is called The Man from Earth, Holocene. Now, to be honest, I didn't even know what the hell Holocene meant. I mean, it sounds like something to do with archaeology. But now I know. I watched the movie last night. It's a great movie. Did some research this morning. And let me just go over. So this is kind of an informal talk / review about that movie, The Man from Earth, Holocene. It's an American sci-fi drama directed by Richard Shankman, written by Richard Shankman and Emerson Bixby, based on characters created by his father, science fiction writer Jerome Bixby. It's a sequel to the classic film The Man from Earth. Let's talk about the plot. The plot focuses on university professor John Ullman, who's now calling himself John Young, who is secretly a Cro-Magnon man, or Magdalenian caveman, who has survived for more than 14,000 years. However, despite all those years of immortality, John has found that he has begun to age and no longer heals as quickly as he used to. Meanwhile, 4 of his students have begun to suspect the truth about him and contact Art Jenkins, whose career fell apart after publishing a book about John's story. So basically, if you watch the first movie, all right, let me say right now, look, this is a movie review. I'm going to be talking about the movie. If you really want the best experience, stop listening to my voice. Click the link down in the description. I think it's to a YouTube video. You got to pay for it or whatever. Watch the movie before you proceed in this video, because I'm going to be spoiling the whole movie. It's better to watch it first and then listen to my review. But basically, in the first movie, Professor John Ullman confided in everybody that he was 14,000 years old. And at the end of the movie, he moves forward. He moves on. This movie picks up where he has been teaching as a professor for about 10 years at his new school. And let's see, how to make a long story short. One of his students asked to borrow some books, so she gets the first book written by his old buddy at the first school in the first movie. Then the inscription, she opens it up. It says, "Hey, to my friend, John Ullman." Well, she Googles this author and finds out he's written a new book, and the new book is about that experience. When John Ullman told him that he was 14,000 years old, they put the pieces of the puzzle together. And now they're hot on his trail, knowing that he is immortal. Great movie. Let's talk about. I don't know the exact budget on this movie. The first movie, they said the budget was like 200 grand. Now these movies, there are no special effects, folks. There's no nothing out of the ordinary that you couldn't film by just taking a film crew, people, and a basic location. So I don't want to call it a low budget film, because these two films should have been box office smash hits. These aren't no B-rated films. These are great movies. The budget may have been low, but that's the only way you can rate these movies low. The acting in this movie, excellent. That young group of kids had you laughing all the time. I mean, we were constantly laughing at the I say kids, the college students, the students in the movie, funny as heck. So there's a little bit of comedy involved. Obviously, thought-provoking events that make you think about history. And again, this afternoon, I found myself, doing research on aspects of the movie. I highly recommend you watch both. Watch them in sequence so you understand what's going on. And they left the ending sort of open-ended. I guess there may be another movie forthcoming, or they want to try to make it into a TV series. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing with it right now. But they did leave a type of open ending where they could proceed on with this thing. So, sorry about that. I thought we had a brownout going on, but the air conditioner's still running. So I started out by saying, what the heck is Holocene? I mean, I got no idea what the hell Holocene was. It's been a long time since I've been in school. A long time since I took any type of history course. That far back, When I say that far back, well, let me get to it. What's the Holocene, right? Holocene is basically, let's just make a long story short, it's the past, what is this? It's around the past 11,000 years. Where's my numbers here? Oh, I got some notes. Hold on. It's basically sort of modern day to 11,650 years ago. That's the Holocene. And folks, the way it's broken down on the geological timeline, you have periods, which are greater periods of time. So we're under the quaternary, however you say it, period. And within there, you have epochs, epoch. You have epochs, which kind of break down within the periods. So that past 11,650 years has been the Holocene period. And before that, it was the Pleistocene period, which I guess is commonly known as the last ice age. That was like 2,580,000 years ago to 11,700. And then the Holocene took over. And then from the epochs, you have ages, right? I'm not going to get too far involved in that because I'm going to read some more articles about how I guess we're trying to transition from the Holocene to a new epoch. All right, and I got a couple articles to talk about that. An epoch, for the purposes of chronologically, is an instant in time chosen as the origin of a particular calendar era. Okay, now if you just read what is the dictionary definition of epoch, it could be a period of time in history or a person's life, typically one marked by notable events or particular characteristics. So like right now, the epoch that I'm in right now, I'm in the Philippines. I'm not going to be here forever. I haven't been here forever. So I'd say the epoch that I have going on right now is life and living in the Philippines. That's maybe how I could describe that if you look at it just from a dictionary point of view. And let's see. So we talked about the Pleistocene. And baby boy's doing jumping jacks. All right, so what I found interesting, and again, folks, this movie the reason I like these two movies is they have invoked thought for me to do research on various topics. I love that. So let's go off onto an article I found from Time magazine, time.com. Now it's from, when was this written? This was written in 2016. And the title of the article is Obituary, Remembering the Holocene Epic. Remember, that's supposedly what we're in right now, the Holocene. What did I say, 11,650 years ago until now, sort of. This article is written as an obituary, and I'm gonna read the article. It's pretty interesting. The Holocene epic, which witnessed milestones from the development of Crater Lake to the invention of the electric guitar, died prematurely Monday in Cape Town at the age of 11,650 years. It is survived and succeeded by the Anthropocene epic. I hope I said that right. Anthropocene. The cause of death was the rapid alteration of the Earth's ecosystem due to nuclear weapon tests, microplastic pollution, agriculture, carbon emissions, and other human contributions to the changing environment, according to the Anthropocene Working Group. News of the Holocene's death could not be independently confirmed by the International Geological Congress, which is conducting a review of the evidence surrounding the epic's death. If confirmed, the Holocene's death at 11.5 millennia would make it by far the shortest lived of its ancestors. Its immediate predecessor, the Pleistocene epic, died at over 2.5 million years old, while the Eocene epic survived to be nearly 22 million. But even for an epic cut so tragically short, its accomplishments stand out. It set up these Goldilocks conditions for human civilization to take off, says Nicholas Spano, a graduate student researcher at the Department of Integrative Biology and Museum of Paleontology, University of California, Berkeley. During the Holocene, Earth's climate as a whole became much more stable. Early in its life, the Holocene's warm, stable climate helped facilitate the development of agriculture around the world, which in turn made possible the flourishing of Homo sapiens, the species that would, above all else, define the epoch. So basically, folks, the Holocene is when we harnessed, discovered, developed, learned agriculture, where we have, transitioned. We went from hunter-gatherers, from wanderers, to once we sort of mastered agriculture, that's when permanent settlements popped up, right? Because we didn't have to follow the buffalo around to provide food for the masses. Let's see. Among the Holocene's many later accomplishments were the proliferation of plant and animal life as the planet became more hospitable. But like so many other epochs, the Holocene experienced its share of tragedy as well. The last of the woolly mammoths perished under its watch, as did a great many other large species, often done in by human hunters. The rapid deforestation that accompanied agriculture and the domestication of animals has even led some to argue that the Holocene had in fact been deceased for quite some time, as humans have reshaped the environment over the course of centuries. Not everyone agrees on what comes next, though. I don't mind the term Anthropocene, I just don't want it capitalized, says paleoclimatologist William Rudiman. The term is only useful if you use it informally, because obviously we're having huge impacts on the environment. In lieu of flowers, climatologists request that flowers be left alive in the ground. Okay, so that article right there by Chris Wilson, August 29, 2016, on time.com. That's pretty interesting. So you go to the next article, which is directly related. Scientists say a new geological epoch called the Anthropocene is here. This was written by Mahita Gajinan on August 29th, 2016. Okay. Humanity's influence on the Earth is so great, an entirely new geological epoch called the Anthropocene should be declared, according to scientists from the Working Group on the Anthropocene, who recommended the change to the International Geological Congress in Cape Town on Monday. The Anthropocene epoch should begin in about 1950, as man-made developments ended the geological time defined by the current epoch, the Holocene. The scientists said the Holocene encompasses the 12,000 years since the last ice age. So they're saying that like 1950 should be the ending of that era, because at that point that's when humans really started doing some damage to the Earth's climate. Mid-20th century phenomena such as carbon dioxide emissions, rising sea levels, the global mass extinction of species and deforestation have ended the Holocene epoch, the scientists said. The Anthropocene would be defined geologically by the effects of nuclear bomb tests, plastic pollution, concrete, and more, according to scientists. Okay. The Working Group on the Anthropocene has researched the epoch since 2009. If our recommendation is accepted, the Anthropocene will have started just a little before I was born. And I can't say this gentleman's name. We have lived most of our lives in something called the Anthropocene and are just realizing the scale and permanence of the change. So then you go to Wikipedia. They're saying it's the Anthropocene is a proposed geological epoch dating from the commencement of significant human impact on Earth's geology and ecosystems, including but not limited to anthropogenic climate change. As of February 2020, neither the International Commission on Stratigraphy, ICS, nor the International Union of Geological Sciences has officially approved the term as a recognized subdivision of geologic time. Alright folks, baby boy is getting too rowdy. He's in there in the playroom. I hope that these videos, when I do these talking head videos, I really should just do them more as podcasts. But if you're riding on the road, it doesn't matter if you're listening to a video or listening to a podcast. So I find everything that I just talked about very interesting, in the way that, on the grand scheme of things, let's just say humans, sort of in our modern form, we've been around for about 2 million years. You can argue 2 million, 2.5 million, 3 million. Most of the time, I think archaeology and science gets things wrong by the fact that they don't go back far enough. So if you say 2 million, it's probably closer to 3 million, right? They're going off of stuff that they can dig up, and they're not getting the full picture, and they're erring on the side of caution, right? So I always say 2 million, it's probably 3 million. But it is kind of strange and interesting that we came down out of the trees and lived on this planet for 2 to 3 million years without having a huge significant impact or the ability to alter the environment. Now, of course, we were altering it as human and the populations increased. But it's interesting that they're trying to use the date of 1950 as the end of the Holocene epoch because of the development of nuclear weapons, the increased use of plastics, the burning of fossil fuels. I think that's probably a fair date. Or you could just back it up to 1900 when we really started, sometime around there, really burning fossil fuels. I guess 1950 is a fair date. If you wanted to write, I guess that is a nice round number, but maybe it is time for a new era because of the ability of humans to change the environment. Now, I've talked about climate change before. I think the biggest factors on climate change are not humans. It's outside of our control. We had nothing to do with the ice ages, with the cooling, the warming of the earth. That's been going on since the earth was formed 4.6 billion years ago. So you're not going to convince me that because we humans have been burning fossil fuels for 100 years, that just that fact alone is going to cause the glaciers to melt and the earth to absolutely change its climate because of what we're doing. We're not helping it. I agree. We're not helping it. But you understand, we didn't have a damn thing to do with these past ice ages. So imagine if the earth was an ice age, then it starts to warm. Who are you going to blame? It's outside our control. I mean, we're sort of like ticks on a dog. Yeah, we're impacting that dog's life, obviously. But I think when we say that man has the ability to destroy the earth, I don't think that's a real accurate statement. We have the ability to destroy conditions where humans can live on this earth. For example, the earth keeps warming up, all the ice is melting, the land masses are decreasing. The earth is still here. There might not be any place for us to go, it might turn into a water world, but we haven't destroyed the earth. We have destroyed the conditions for humans and other mammals to be able to live on earth. Or let's just say organisms, because we're killing the fish in the sea with all these plastics. In the event of a nuclear war, what would happen? Would it destroy the earth? It's not going to destroy the earth. It's going to destroy conditions whereby organisms can live on earth. So say nuclear war wipes everything out. Well, is it going to knock the earth out of its orbit? If it did, well, that might be an earth killer. If it doesn't, well, no. What's going to happen in 500 years? What's going to happen in 1,000 years? What's going to happen in 2 million years? At the rate that, plutonium, uranium, the rate of decay and the half-life. I mean, look at Chernobyl. Chernobyl had this huge meltdown back in the 80s, and then you go look at it now, there's shit growing out of control. There's wildlife. Now, is wildlife radiation? Are the trees? Yeah, it's all radioactive. But it's not like after that thing cooked off that it turned into a desert wasteland. It didn't kill everything. Contaminated everything, but it didn't kill everything. So should World War III go down, there's some type of nuclear war, I think in 1 million years, 2 million years, who the hell's gonna know? Who the hell's gonna know in 2 million years? The earth is 4.6 billion years old. Man's only been around on this rock for a fraction of a second on the 24-hour clock. If you put the Earth's existence on a 24-hour clock, we've only been around, for a past second, fraction of a second, couple seconds, whatever the hell it is, a fraction, right? I don't know where this conversation is going, but this is a movie review. on The Man from Earth, Holocene. It's a great movie. I recommend you watch it. Do some research on some of the terminology, some of the things they talk about, and you'll learn something. So the entertainment value was there, and also the learning value was there. Alright, that's enough. Bottom right hand corner of your screen, hit that Overstay Road sign, get on board my channel. There's no niche here on my channel. It's whatever I want to talk about or do. I'm currently locked down here in the Philippines. Today is a Sunday, which means I'm on a hard lockdown day. Even after 80 something days of this lockdown, as it has progressed, here we're coming to the home stretch, but they think that it's a great idea on Sundays for us all to be hard lockdown. You can't go out in the fucking street. Sorry, stores can't open. Beyond draconian ridiculousness. So, folks, I'll see you guys on the next one. If you watch the movie, come back, leave a comment down below, and for the intellectual conversation and the learning points behind the movies. All right, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.